Don't you just hate it when your saw is sharp, it's cutting great, you're cutting some rounds like this, you get to the bottom of a cut and your saw quits cutting because you hit the dirt. I'm going to show you how I prevent that from happening. Today I'm here with this Douglas fir tree that fell across the road last winter in a snowstorm. It just broke right off. I cut the first few rounds off because they were sticking up in the air. That always makes it nice for cutting. The problem with the rest of it is it's sitting on the ground. If I try to cut through it, I'm sure to find the dirt or a rock with my chain. But I'm going to show you how I am going to cut the rest of this up without any danger of getting my bar and chain in the dirt. First thing I'm going to do is cut my rounds, but I'm only going to go part way through, maybe 2/3 of the way. I've gotten to a spot right here with the logs a little bit off the ground. On this one I'm going to cut the whole way through because I can safely do it without hitting the ground. Notice how I put the bell on the bottom. Notice what happens when I start to pull on this. I'm still using my dad's Ranger for doing this kind of stuff on this property since I don't have the tractor here. Someone said in the comments a while back on one of my videos where we were pulling with this, he said it was the little Ranger that could. Let's see if it's the Ranger that still can. I think it can. I think it can. I think it can. Did you see what happened there? It twisted the log around so that the part I have to cut now was not dragging through the dirt. It rolled it around so that part was on top. The part it dragged through the dirt was the part that was already cut. Now I have a clean surface here, free of dirt, to cut the rest of the way. In this case, it was really helpful that I had a high spot to hang the block on, because then it pulled up and it made it easier to twist it around. But you may not always have a high spot to put the block, so sometimes you can hang it off to the side. If you put the block over there, you can position the choker on it so it'll twist it that way, or hang the block over there, position the choker so it'll twist it that way. It takes a little bit of experimenting to know which way the choker is going to pull it. Just position it so you're skidding the part that you've already cut on the ground, keeping the part you do have to cut from dragging through the dirt. Let's cut this up, then we'll do the next one. Let's see if it works just as well with the next one. Same thing here. I'll cut my rounds about 2/3 of the way through. I'll go until I can find an open spot where it's safe to cut all the way through, where there's some space underneath and I won't hit the dirt. I ran into a little bit of a problem. I had to come all the way down here to find a clear spot to bucket, which is about twice as long as the last one was. I think this is going to be a little bit heavy for the Ranger. Instead of putting too much stress on the Ranger, we're going to use 2 Rangers, or at least the equivalent of 2. To do this, I'm going to double up the lines by putting another block in it. This will nearly double the force. I'm swapping out the blocks because the one I had on there will work better on the log side than the breakaway block that I'm replacing it with. Now I take the end of the line, hook it to the broken off stump. It's a little tricky wrapping a line around a tree this size, especially without hitting yourself on the head with the line. While I'm doing this, it would help out a lot if you would take a moment and hit the like button. This block will have a choker on it that will hook up to the log. It's attached to the line in between the anchor I just set and the directional block. The blocks ran into each other before the log was where I wanted it. I reattached the choker to the other end of the log so I can pull it a little farther into the road. I might even get it to flip around and have the whole log land in the road. That didn't flip around quite the way I wanted it. It ran into this tree, but it's close enough. It left me with a nice clean surface to finish cutting through. The part that got dragged through the dirt is on the bottom, and it's already been cut. Well, there's a nice pile of rounds, and not a single sawtooth was harmed in the making of it. Well, that's it for today. I'll finish up the rest of it later. I think that would just be repetitive for you to watch. I'll see you on the next video.